Hernandez here, and I am AB Hernandez's mom. Just wanted to take a moment to thank our athletes. Thank you for not letting the outside noise distract you from your passion. I am truly inspired by your dedication, your support to one another, your love, your inclusiveness, and the way you look up to AB for guidance.
Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So remember the mother of the trans athlete who basically threatened the female athletes, telling them they have to be supportive, they have to be inclusive, and not to wear any XX or female-only sports t-shirts.
Also, a gentle reminder, please be cautious on the shirts you will be wearing. They could be a potential violation of Education Code Section 200 for bullying or harassment. And I wouldn't want anyone disqualified for, the negative influence from outside voices.
Well, yesterday, the trans athlete competed in women's triple jump. Yesterday at the California Interscholastic Federation Southern Section Track and Field Finals, a boy athlete, AB Hernandez from Hooper Valley High School, won 2 first place medals. That was in the women's Division 3 long jump and triple jump events. Hernandez is now ranked number 1 in the state in the triple jump, heading into the state championship meet May 31. So this person is on course to win a state championship in girls track and field and girls triple jump. Governor Gavin Newsom admitted that it's unfair. That came out of his mouth, that boys competing in girls competitions is unfair. He admitted that, yet he allows it to continue.
I think it's an issue of fairness. I completely agree with you on that. I revere sports, and so the issue of fairness is completely legit.
The AB Hernandez reached the goal of reaching a 41-footer, jumping 41 feet 4 inches, over 4 inches longer than second place, the real winner, Reese Hogan from Queen Lutheran High School, with a jump of 37 feet and 2 inches. And Hernandez won the long jump with a jump of 19 feet 2 inches. And Hernandez finished 7th in the girls' high jump. And Katie McGuinness jumped the furthest of the female athletes, so is the rightful winner for the long jump. Remember how the mother said that these girls are inspired by this person, look up to this person, and she thanked them.
She has worked incredibly hard to earn her place.
Obviously, we knew she was being sarcastic and was in fact threatening them and giving them backhanded compliments, basically saying, yes, you're not going to win, but deal with it, because you've got to be inclusive. That's how I took it anyway. It turns out these girls are not happy about what's going on. Far from it. They are well aware of what's been done to them, what's been done to their sports, what's been done to their competitions. They are well aware that they are having medals taken from them, spots on the podium taken from them. And one girl made that very clear. You know what she did? She stood atop the podium in her rightful place and posed for photos, as she should have. So this was Reese Hogan. She stood alongside Hernandez during the official photos, but after the other athletes cleared the podium, Hogan took her spot in the number 1 position, smiling for photos as the crowd cheered. Riley Gaines said, when the boy got off the podium, she assumed her rightful spot as champion. The crowd erupts with applause. This is the way. Congrats to Reese Hogan, the real champ. And I think female athletes need to start doing this. Stand where you were rightfully meant to be standing the whole time. And that's the way forward, because this is something that shows everybody else that you're not happy with what's going on, because they lie and they tell people that the female athletes are okay with this. No. There was another photo where I saw a female athlete wearing the shirts that Hernandez's mother warned them against wearing. The very type of shirt that she said that is against Section 200 and whatever of the code, Education Code. She stood there wearing that shirt in support of women's sports. Check the shirt of the girl who won the 800 and 1600 at the CIF Southern Section Finals. A boy won the girls' long jump at the same meet. Girls have had enough. So she's proudly wearing her XXXY shirt, and that's great to see. It speaks volumes. And this girl, she didn't compete against a trans athlete, but she's wearing that shirt in support of her fellow female athletes. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I would say that you should wear these shirts wherever you go. Whenever you're involved in a sporting event, for example, whatever sports you're going to watch, wear that shirt. It doesn't have to be where there's a trans athlete present. It doesn't have to be if it affects you. But that's when they say you're targeting somebody. So it's best to just wear them, as part of your everyday wardrobe, because it's a great message. And it's a message, unfortunately, that still needs to be heard. Because we have Gavin Newsom, we have Janet Mills, these state governors who continue to ignore the executive order, who continue to ignore the federal law, one that's even admitted that it's unfair. You're continuing to allow something that you know is unfair when you know that most of the country are not for this. Why are they still pushing for this? Would it be what was uncovered in regards to a financial incentive for pushing transgenderism? There's got to be more to the story than just being inclusive. Clearly there is. And to the original images of a trans athlete, a male athlete standing atop the podium, taking a number 1 spot from a girl, Riley Gaines says, "Congratulations to Reese Hogan, the real champion in yesterday's triple jump at CIF Southern Section Finals. She set a new PR and school record." The boy standing atop the podium, holding up a number 1, is a fraud enabled by the CIFSS at CA Dem and at CA Governor. So we see these images and we say, oh, the female athletes are smiling, but that photo doesn't tell you the full story, because the same female athlete, after everyone cleared, stood in her rightful place, acknowledging that that is her rightful place. So don't get the wrong idea when you see these female athletes standing next to the males, smiling. It doesn't mean they're being supportive. Clearly, they are not. There are many different ways to speak out, and I commend these young ladies for doing what they're doing and making their voices heard.
It's about truth, it's about science, it's about every girl who's trained early mornings, lifted weights, and run miles to reach this level, only to be told her spot doesn't belong to her anymore. I've spoken to the girls impacted by this. They're heartbroken, they're confused, they've been told to sit down and be silent to avoid controversy. But today they are choosing to speak.
Earlier this month, Hogan participated in a rally which took place during the Division 3 prelims, challenging the CIF's long-standing policy that allows biological males to compete in girls' sports. During the rally, officials forced Hogan and her fellow female athletes and supporters to remove their Protect Girls Sports shirts. So this female athlete is actually very vocal and has attended rallies in support of women's sports. She said it wasn't said, but it was implied that if I didn't take my shirt off then and there, then something could potentially happen to my spot. It wasn't said, but it was implied. Throughout the day, it was kind of getting a little bit more stricter, getting a little bit more hostile with their voices. They never said anything about getting disqualified, but it was kind of implied by the tone of their voice and the way that they said things. So a letter was sent by the Department of Education to Gavin Newsom threatening to cut the funding for schools if they don't comply with President Donald Trump's order on transgender athletes. But as it stands now, the CIF allows people to compete according to their gender identity. So it looks like it is up to the federal government to make sure that they feel the repercussions of what they're doing. They need to lose their federal funding because they're not backing down. They're continuing to violate Title IX, they're continuing to go against the executive order, and even worse, they try to intimidate young girls who simply want fair and safe sports. They try to intimidate them and infringe upon their First Amendment rights. Surely there needs to be consequences for that. So let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Like, comment and subscribe. Take care of yourselves, and God willing, I will see you in the next video.